we think that we've seen the most shocking, least justifiable video of police brutality possible. And then we get another week, and we get another video. And so I want you to take a look at this. It's obviously extremely graphic. What you're going to see in this recently released cell phone video is two San Antonio area police officers gunning down Gilbert Flores as he stands with his hands in the air.
Bro, they just shot that bro. Yeah, that fool dead.
So you see there in the video the tragic conclusion to a chase that Gilbert Flores, the man who was shot in the video, led Greg Vasquez and Robert Sanchez, the two officers, on. Now, they had been called in for a domestic disturbance call. Apparently, Gilbert Flores had injured a woman and an 18-month-old child. We don't know their identities at this point, and then ran away from the police. There was some sort of altercation between them, but you saw on the end of the chase there. He was standing. He had his hands in the air, no indication of a weapon, no indication of complete clothing even, and yet they felt so threatened that they needed to immediately shoot him. And then you also saw less than 25 seconds later, maybe, 2 additional cop cars show up. So those cops apparently could not even wait the 20 to 30 seconds it would have taken for backup to arrive. So that unarmed man who was not moving towards them, we couldn't even see that he was saying anything in that footage. We certainly didn't hear anything. They had to shoot. They had to kill this man. Now, the police department's Facebook and other social media immediately leaped to the defense of the department, outraged by the fact that the media was daring to spread this footage, daring to let people see what their officers have actually been getting up to. They posted this on their Facebook page. These deputies have not been charged with a crime and a family lost their loved one. This is unethical and sad. If you agree, let the local media know this sort of sensational behavior doesn't fly in Bexar County. Now, I spent a number of years living in Texas. I didn't live in Bexar County in particular, but I have to imagine that, like most counties across this country, what actually should not fly is shooting unarmed people who have their hands pointed into the fucking air, not journalists actually for once doing their job in this country and showing people what their elected and executive officials are actually doing, in this case the police, showing what they have actually done, letting them not hear through the filtered words of a sheriff or a police department's Facebook page what happened, but seeing with their own eyes what actually happened. But for some reason, from the police department's point of view, the real shock, the real outrage, the real shame here is that people get to see and that they don't get to strictly control the message like they do in most cases. So here's their attempt to actually do this. You're going to hear here the words of a sheriff who says, "Certainly what's in the video is cause for concern," which I think is putting it somewhat mildly, "but it's important to let the investigation go through its course so that we can ensure a thorough and complete review of all that occurred, of the evidence and the actions of the officers." Sheriff Susan Pomerleau goes on to say, "They also tried to use non-lethal weapons to try and detain him. And after a lengthy confrontation, both deputies fired shots, causing the man's death." It is entirely possible that earlier, before the footage that we see, they did indeed try to use tasers or shields. She made references to shields at some point. If they try to do that, then that's fine. That doesn't mean that later on, if the man is standing facing them, not moving, with his hands in the air, well, shit, they've been inconvenienced for 5 or 10 minutes. It's perfectly justifiable to gun the man down now. We were talking about this story earlier in the production meeting. If you send in a hostage negotiator, you don't give him 5 minutes and then, well, shit, we gotta leave eventually, let's bomb the building. You use the non-lethal fucking weapons as long as you need to. It doesn't matter if it takes 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You don't gun down a person, especially when backup is mere seconds from arriving. And I love the language that they use. After a lengthy confrontation, they fired shots. That is entirely true. But I don't care what happened the 10 minutes earlier, the year earlier, their entire fucking life earlier. You saw the minute before he was shot. There was no justification. It doesn't matter what happened 20 minutes ago. The guy didn't have a fucking weapon. He wasn't moving towards them. What the fuck do they think they're going to find in their investigation? I can't think of anything, any possibility that wouldn't make me sound like a crazy person to even postulate that he could have said to them or done previously to give them any reason to think that this was what they had to do. And so there's going to be the investigation, and of course it's in the interest of the sheriff and the police department for you to calm down and let the investigation go on. Don't ask any questions now. They've been put on review right now. They haven't even been charged in anything. You can gun down someone who has no fucking weapon, whose hands are in the air, and there are no immediate charges in America, despite the experience of the past couple of years and what we've seen about police brutality in this country. And by the way, what we've also seen in the media, because of course we've seen in the wake of Ferguson, we have Black Lives Matter, we have Hands Up, Don't Shoot, and we saw that systematically mocked by conservatives, by liberals in the media. It didn't matter if it was Fox News or CNN or MSNBC. Oh yeah, of course, they're complying. They have their hands in the air. Sure, that's what they're doing. And they laughed and they laughed and they laughed. But now we can fucking see it with our own eyes. That guy had his hands in the air. Imagine if you were in that place. If you had committed some minor infraction, whatever, some violent crime, but you are surrendering there, they could easily fucking take you into custody and your hands are in the air. You put your hands in the fucking air and they shoot you. So they laughed before, but now we can see. We can see that he actually complied, and we can see how fucking desperately we need fundamental change, a fucking revolution in how we train our police and what we allow them to get away with on a daily fucking basis in this country. That's my final judgment.